Hello there and welcome back to the vlog. Today I have hay fever, so apologies in advance if there's lots of sniffles and sneezes. I'm going to keep the sunglasses on because I'll get watery eyes. This was me at this time last year where I looked like I'd been in a fight with a swarm of bees. So I'm going to try to not itch my eyes this year because I think that's the problem. I think once you start itching your eyes, it just exacerbates it and it gets worse and worse. And you end up looking like the Elephant Man. So I'm going to try and not sniffle, not touch my face, but apologies in advance if I do those things. It's really annoying. We've got a heat wave right now and it's that time of year, it's June, it's so warm, it's so sunny, it's so nice. It's so annoying that just as it gets to that part of the year where you want to be outside the most, the grass starts attacking your face. The outdoors literally starts attacking your entire body. So I apologise for that in advance, but hopefully there won't be too many sniffles and sneezes. Today though, we're also at the House of Dun, which is kind of near Montrose. And we'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to do the walk first and then we'll get to the house at the end of it. But yeah, that's the plan for today. I'm climbing up a hill and you know what that means. I'm going to have to turn off the camera till we get to the top of it. But yeah, that's the plan for today. Okay, now I'm up to the top of the hill. I can tell you a little bit about the House of Dun. The House of Dun was designed by the same guy who did Duff House, which is where we were a few weeks ago. William Adam, remember the architect who wouldn't get paid and he was in court for 5 years trying to get paid? Well, he was the same guy who designed this house in the 18th century. In the 18th century, William Adam was kind of like the go-to guy. If you were wanting a big stately home, a big Georgian mansion in the 18th century, William Adam was the guy in Scotland that you'd go to because he was the most foremost architect of his time. And it's just over there. But as I said, we're going to do a bit of a walk first and give the dogs a bit of a walk before we get there. But as you can see, there's a couple that are just about to go in and have a look. And this, I assume, is their mausoleum. It's the Erskine family. I think I forgot to say that. It's the Erskine family that had the House of Dun. So if your surname's Erskine, then this is your family seat, or at least that's your family seat over there. And this is, I guess, where your great grandparents are buried. And I'm not sure why there's these other gravestones here. Maybe these are servants or people who worked in the area. I'm not too sure. But anyway, that's just a little bit of history as we carry on the walk. I don't think you can get inside that, unfortunately. And the next thing that happens is we walk through into this area, which is, oh look, here it says the Erskine family graves. I've never noticed this before. Maybe these trees were covering it the last time I was here. But here it says the Erskine family graves. So yeah, that's where the Erskines are buried that built this house. And then we have this kind of area. I don't know what to describe this as. It's kind of like a gardening area. Let's do the long loop. So I'm assuming that this was an old entryway, an old gate, because it's too fancy to be anything other. So I imagine that that would have been the road in towards the castle originally, or the house. I think there was a castle here originally, actually. Now that I mention that, I think it said on Wikipedia that there was an original tower house in this area somewhere, which might have been in this area. This might have been something to do with it. And then when they fancied upgrading and getting something a bit more comfortable, they built that one over there in the 18th century. But there'd been a castle in this area from around the 12th century, I think it said. So the Erskines had been here a long time, or there'd been a castle here a long time anyway. I'm not sure if it was the Erskines that had it that entire time. There aren't actually a lot of points of interest on this walk now that I've started on it. I kind of think this is just all green. So we did see a deer back there, and Ollie and Rafa started sniffing the air, and I was like, oh no, because I thought they might run off and chase after it. And the road is still quite close, it's on the right hand side there, and it would be on the roadside, so I thought they might chase after it, but they didn't. But yeah, it's just a very green walk, lots of trees, so there's not much that I can point out to. But how's everyone doing? It's been a while since I've done a vlog actually. I've been in Italy for a few weeks, and I didn't vlog it. I did do some shorts which I might post. I just made them on Instagram and posted them there, but I might post them on YouTube as well. But yeah, I've been in Italy for a while, so I've not posted a vlog in a few weeks. But I hope everyone's been doing well, and I hope you're enjoying the green, because that's pretty much all I can show you. Just lots and lots of lush forest woodland greenery, which is beautiful to walk through. I'm not sure if it makes for great viewing, but yeah. I hope you're enjoying it anyway. Oops, I'm not sure if you can see me that side because I'm against the sun. It's so warm today, but I'm loving it. I love the warm weather. I know a lot of people are not for it, but I absolutely love the warm weather. It was about 30 degrees in Italy, 32 actually in some days, and it was just the best. I love all seasons. I love the snow, I love the cold as well in winter. I love the autumn colours, I love the spring colours as well. So all the seasons are great, but I've got to admit, a bit of warmth. I think spring's my favourite season. I think I might have said that in a vlog before. You've got to love a bit of heat in summer. It says, hello walkers, we have pet ducks at the cottage and they would very much appreciate dogs kept to heel or safer still on lead if you're passing through to avoid any upsetting events. Many thanks, that's a good plan. This way! Ollie! I don't think we'll go that way because Ollie would love a duck for his dinner, but I would not enjoy that. So let's go a different route. Having just been singing the praises of summer though, there is one downside. Actually there's two downsides, because the first downside is hay fever, which to be fair has not really affected me too much on this walk so far. I think coming into the woodland's been alright. But the second downside is the flies. I keep forgetting this every year. I put this stuff in my hair called Sebastian Craft Clay. And I love it because it just kind of blends in nicely and it's not wet or anything like that. It just sort of holds your hair in place, and it's kind of dry though, so it just looks kind of natural, which I really love. But for some reason the flies absolutely love it, and every summer I forget I can't use it. I can't put the stuff in my hair because it just attracts swarms of flies around my head. So if you're seeing this kind of cartoonish sort of cloud of flies around my head right now, then... And if you see me keep on doing this as well, it's me trying to swat them away. So anyway, that's the second downside of summer. But apart from that, it's still great and it's still amazing. There's a deer up there. You can see it just kind of going through the fields. It might be in the same deer as from before. You can see the tip of its ears now going behind the hill. Okay, so what's happened is the house was too busy. It's mobbed with people today. It's kind of been announced on the news that it's going to be a heat wave over the weekend, so there's lots of people out and about. It's summer, it's a warm day, the cafe was kind of full, people sitting out, and I just thought trying to fly a drone with two dogs off the lead and trying to vlog it at the same time, I just sensed there was going to be messiness, there was going to be a scene if I tried to do all those things together. So I'm not going to do the house on this occasion. I'll go back when it's quieter. I couldn't put the dogs in the car either because it's too hot today. So I'm not going to vlog the house, I'm not going to show the house on this trip. I'll come back another time and I'll walk around the house when there's nobody there, when it's not the height of summer. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to go to the beach, because there's a beach nearby. This is Montrose that I'm just driving into here, and there's a beach nearby called St Cyrus Beach, which is rather lovely. There's a story to tell there as well. So I thought that's what we do, we'd go to St Cyrus Beach. It might be mobbed there as well, to be honest. It might be absolutely heaving. You tend to think that when it's hot weather in June that everybody's going to rush to the beach, which might make it tricky as well. I just find it very difficult to have dogs on leads while also recording, while also flying the drone. It's just, I don't have enough hands for it, so this might be tricky. Basically I need to vlog wherever I can let the dogs run free, because then that sort of frees up hands and I don't have to have them on leads. But let's go to the beach anyway, and let's see, let's hope it's not too busy. Okay, we're nearly approaching Nether Kirkyard, which is the kirkyard at St Cyrus Beach, and on the way there I want to tell you a story relating to this kirkyard, and unfortunately it's a tragic story, which is in regards to a man called George Beattie, who was a local poet in the area in the mid-1700s, early 1800s. This guy George Beattie, as a young man, he found this woman that he fell madly in love with. And he actually proposed to her and she said yes. So he was madly in love and he wrote these undying oaths of love, which I'm going to put on the screen. I can't remember them personally, but he wrote poems and everything. He was madly in love, but her not so much, because during the engagement, she inherited a large sum of money. And with the sum of money, she decided that actually she could do better than George Beattie. She could marry into the upper echelons of society. She could sort of get in amongst the lords and the upper classes. So essentially she broke off the engagement, and George Beattie was absolutely heartbroken by this because this was his one true love. And in his sorrow and in his sadness, he came to this kirkyard and he sat down next to his sister's grave and he shot himself. And a guy came the next day, I think it was a young lad that came the next day and found him slumped next to his sister's grave, and apparently you can still see the bullet hole, which I've never seen before, so we're going to look for that. But it's this tragic love story, and apparently she didn't live for much longer either. She lived to her early 40s. It was a loveless marriage of comfort, I think it's described as. So basically they were comfortable in terms of financial wealth, but it was a loveless marriage, so she wasn't happy. She died early as well. And apparently on her deathbed she sort of shouted out about George Beattie and sort of voiced her regret, this one guy that had given her his heart, and she'd betrayed him and hadn't even had a good life anyway. And so yeah, it's a bit of a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, where they both ended up dying young, one by suicide and the other one just didn't have a happy life with the guy that she did end up with. So yeah, it's a sad story, and it just goes to show how one wrong decision, and your life can take the wrong turn. But we're nearly at the kirkyard, so let's try and find his grave, and also let's try and find the bullet hole, because I've never found that before. Alright, here's the grave for George Beattie. I've had to put the dogs on leads because there's some rabbits going around. Like, this is the poem that he wrote. I'm not sure if you can make that out. It says, "Say what is worse than black despair. 'Tis that sick hope too weak for flying that plays it fast and loose with care and wastes a weary life in dying." So this is presumably the poem that he wrote after his heart was broken. "The heart whose will is from above may yet its mortal taint discover, for time which cannot alter love hath power to kill the hapless lover." And this is where it says, "To the memory of George Beattie, writer in Montrose, who died on the 29th of September 1823 in the 38th year of his age." And then that's the gravestone as well. I'm trying to see where the bullet hole is. I should have probably researched this before I came here to find out where it was and how to identify it, but yeah, poor George Beattie. I think I ended the last vlog in quite a sad story as well. That it was that girl that was taken advantage of and that died of exposure at the beach. And here's another sad story. Oh, there's something else over here. Maintained by the George Beattie project. So there's quite a few people that know this story and they're maintaining his grave for him. Anyway, sorry to end on such a sad note. Shall we go back to Ollie running about on the beach? That was more fun. I should also say that that's a guardhouse, because back in the 1700s, 1800s, they had a problem with grave robbing for reasons I shall get into another time perhaps, but that's a guardhouse, so there'd be a guard that would sit in there and make sure that no one came to steal the bodies of those recently deceased, which unfortunately was a bit of a grisly thing that went on for a little while in the 1700s.